Sentimentalna geografija. Muzikom kroz prostor i vreme. Vaš vodič, Saša Ilić.
Talent Music Agency from Ireland and Radio 101 from Serbia welcomes you, composer Naim from Australia online, and would love to introduce the audience and know who you are. So if you don't mind, give us a bit of introduction about yourself and your musical background.
Okay, well, thank you, and I'm glad to be here. So my musical background started with the classics, so Bach, Beethoven, and all the rest. And later on, as I began composing and performing more and treating it more professionally, I was drawn to that influence of Lebanese music and the Rahbani family and all the rest of them as well. As I got older and as I started writing more, which we're talking about in the past 5 years or so.
Excellent. This information will bring us a bit of attention to know a little bit about your background, where you come from, where is your location right now in this case, to allow the audience to know the combination.
Yeah.
So, are you Australian?
That's where I was born, yes. And my family immigrated from Lebanon.
That's how we know what's your interest in music. That's fair enough. Carry on, please.
Okay. Yeah. So, what I have is so there's the composing side to what I do, and then there's also the performing side as well. And my performance side involves playing works of Bach, Chopin, Mozart, and composing arrangements of orchestral works and songs for the piano, and going and performing those. And my compositional output for the time being mainly consists of orchestral works, piano works, and chamber works. But what I'm moving towards now is vocal works and sacred works, where I'm for choir as well, taking texts from the Psalms and the Mass, the Catholic.
This sounds great. So you have few areas of the musical field that you're exploring in this case.
Yeah.
Excellent. And where did you study music?
I've studied privately with several teachers. One of them is an assistant professor at Monash University by the name of Thomas Reiner. And at the moment, I'm in my final year of high school, and I plan to study music further at university.
That's great. That's great. Did you have any of your music recorded recently? If you can tell us about your experience.
Yeah, sure. So we had a few months ago in Bulgaria, several of my works were recorded and conducted by Samuel Hatum, yourself. Yes, you were a part of that. And so we recorded, there was a waltz in F minor. There was the Arabic dance, number 1, in C minor, and there was a set of pieces under the title Aphorisms, which is one work as a whole. And what I've been doing, my intention with these works, especially with the Aphorisms, which was written 10 months before the other works that were included on the program, was this dual influence from, as I said before, this classical side, which I know really well and I've studied extensively, and Lebanese music, and which is what I was describing before.
This sounds fantastic. This sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So how was your experience with the recording? Where do you like to take it? Which direction as an ambition in your mind?
Well, the recording was done to a high quality standard, and for that I am deeply grateful for that privilege, and that it's really what it is. All the musicians were top notch, and I couldn't expect more from them, really. And going from here, my ambition now is to establish my voice as a composer, and share what I have to say. Because if you don't have anything to say, there's no reason. You don't have to compose. You can go do something else. But why I think people compose music is they have. It's not a question of I can or I shall. It's a question of I must do so.
Excellent. You're very ambitious. Okay, I've got a question to you regarding the music, which is striking my attention. Once you have several sections of background, how you see yourself in composing for film music, for example, in our time?
Okay, that's a good question. On the subject of film music, I think that my style can work well with that medium. In that, in film music, you need to have a way of writing in which you can, easily convey different moods and ideas within, a film, because a film will have different, moments where certain emotions are emphasized and certain ideas are emphasized, and film music has to reflect on that and go hand in hand with the narrative and with the plot. And from my study of literature and plays and operas and all the rest of that, this idea of writing music that works well with a narrative is not something that's foreign to me or new to me.
Okay, so in this case, if there's any interest from companies or productions and TV stations to bring you to this position to explore your ability in writing for film, will you be interested?
Yes, I'd be more than happy to hear any offers and discuss the idea of writing for film further with people who are in the industry. Yes.
And the market as well of the video games is coming up real in a high speed. Will you be in that area of competition too?
It would. I'm open-minded in that if I received an offer from that industry we went through it and I thought it would be a good idea, I'd be more than happy to go along with it, as long as the music is held to. We have an objective standard that is set for the music, and we stick to that, no matter whether it's film or video games or TV or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a pleasure for us to have you online. At least we allow the audience, wherever they are listening to us in the world, to know about you, because we truly need young generation, a new blood, new ideas to come on and collaborate with us.
Yes, that's true. And what I would like to say about this new generation of musicians is that the future of music is can only come around. We can only have a future for this if you work to establish a following or an audience who will engage with the material, because that's an important point. Because with a lot of this in this industry, in this field, there's from some angles you have this degree of snobbery and classism where they'll forego establish audience or a following in favor of supposed intellectualism. But I think that if music has a future, it's when music has an appeal to the general public, because they're the ones who are going to be buying records and going to concerts and engaging with the material, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. Actually, what you're saying is we're not hitting that door because we're concerned about our mission, but it's literally the agency with the radio is very much concerned about embracing the talent and willingness of those composers. That's how we have you online. So we're supporting the talents around the world, which they do have new ideas and distinctive qualities. That's great. I think we seriously like to listen to you. It's the first interview so far, but it's very exciting to know more about you in the next, hopefully coming interviews. And I do actually thank the audience for listening to us, and whoever has a question about you or any engagement can get in contact with the Talent Music Agency, and we will be very happy to open up the connections, because we do need to support composers as yourself.
All right, that sounds great, and it was nice talking to you as well, and sharing this with the audience of this radio station and all the rest. Yeah.
You have our full regards from Talent Music Agency Ireland and Serbia Radio 101.
Thank you. Kind regards. Peace be with you. All right.
Wishing you a great time.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
musički raj.